Hello, welcome to my video. Today we are going to be doing the project. Yes, everybody say yeah. Yes. Alright, so we're going to be doing the project today. This project is based off LGBTQ plus community. So we are going to be speaking on the LGBTQ community of how when it started happening like decades ago, like in the 1900s, all the way up until now in 2025 in today's society. After that, we're going to get into one activist who was very popular back then. So the activist that was popular back then, she was a transgender woman. Her name was Marsha P. Johnson. We're going to be talking about her. I feel like she was a big inspiration to a lot, especially the label of a transgender. And I feel like her story should be told everywhere, especially within the community, because I feel like some of these things still happen today with her kind, which is a transgender. So we're going to talk about the LGBT plus community, and then we're going to get into her. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it, shall we? And just to inform you guys, I have this wig on really mostly because I'm supposed to be looking like her. She used to like froze and stuff back then and curly hair. So I'm supposed to be like, her like explaining the story and then talking about her. If you get it, you get it. I'm going to be adding picture videos and everything. So stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, so we're getting into the background and the meaning and the whole understanding of the LGBTQ plus community. So let's get into it. The LGBTQ plus community includes people with diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. They often face discrimination in housing, jobs, and healthcare. Hate crimes and bullying are serious threats, especially for transgender individuals. Family rejection can cause deep pain and homelessness, particularly for youth. Despite these challenges, the community builds strong support networks. Increased visibility in media helps raise awareness and acceptance. Legal battles continue for equal rights like marriage and anti-discrimination laws. The fight for full equality and safety is ongoing. Now, here are some pictures. Here are some pictures of, the LGBTQ community, what it all looks like, what kind of people are in the community. Now we will be getting into videos of this community, all the labels that are in this group. You hear me? All the labels that are in this group, not just one. There's multiple that comes with this group, okay? Different people. We're going to be getting right into that. So let's go, shall we? Yeah.
Basically, this video is showing a pride festival or a pride parade going on. Basically, it's when a whole bunch of the community comes together. They have fun. They meet new friends, people of their own labels, have a good time. This video is basically just showing how, stuff goes for this group, this community. As you can see, it's a very large community.
Okay, so the LGBTQ community can relate to a lot of other groups. They want justice, they want rights, they want protection. So basically, the LGBTQ, that group relates to Black Americans and all women in this world, because LGBTQ people, they protested, they want their rights. Black Americans, they want their rights, they protested. Women, they want their rights and their justice, they protested. So you can compare those three different groups because they all go through the same thing. They all have to have riots, protests to get the type of justice that they need. Fighting for fairness takes time and effort. Speaking up is important. All fairness makes things harder now. Hate still exists. Marriage is legal, but hate and unfairness remains. Although the LGBTQ community is a big thing and face hate almost every day, fighting for justice will get tiring. The hate has been going on for many years. Most of the community knows within that if they are happy within themselves, caring about what others say doesn't matter. Okay, now we're going to talk about stereotypes. Early media often showed LGBTQ people as being evil, sick, or just for laughs. This made negative ideas about them stronger. The challenge is, more recently, media has started showing more real and diverse LGBTQ characters. This helps people understand and accept LGBTQ people better. Basically, this means don't judge a book by its cover. Don't believe everything the media says because everybody is their own self. Just because a group is like the same thing, they all relate to the same thing, doesn't mean that they're all the same within. So what people that don't like them, they try to do is portray them as something that they're not. They try to paint all of these bad, negative narratives on them, and that's not what they are. But when you start hanging around these people or being around these people or just seeing these people, you see that they mind their business. The media started sharing that more, and a lot of opinions started changing. Riots and protests has had that help as well. There are many labels in the LGBTQ community, but one specific label gets targeted the most out of all of them. The labels are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and everything else in the book. But transgender people are targeted the most. When you hear about something being done bad towards the LGBTQ community, it's mostly the transgenders, especially women of color, getting violated in many ways. And another main label getting violated is gay men. Okay, now we're going to start talking about the LGBTQ plus journey. Big problems at the start. The don't ask, don't tell rule meant gay people couldn't openly serve in the military. This shows they face unfair rules. Many people didn't like or understand them. They couldn't get married or have the same rights as straight people. So then, laws changed over the years. New things started happening. Some states started saying gay and lesbian couples could get married. Laws were made that said if someone hurts you because you're gay, it's a special kind of crime. The rule that stopped gay people from openly serving in the military was taken away. This allowed them to serve their country openly. Life for the LGBTQ plus community in the 1990s. So during this time, it was still kind of hard for a lot of people to accept them for who they are. But eventually, after so many riots and protests, they were able to get on things you would have never even expected me to say in this very moment. So we're going to get right to that. So more LGBTQ characters and storylines in televisions and movies. Yeah. So some people were on Ellen, and some people were in shows, movies, those things like that. So I feel like this is a good thing that started happening. A lot of LGBTQ people getting into shows and movies and people's podcasts and all that, because it could help the image that they were badly getting painted by, and change some other people's perspectives on them. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to figure out why my beard was looking a little patchy, like you don't want to connect. But anyway, there is expansions on pride parades and other public events and fostering community and visibility. So basically that means there was more pride parades and stuff going on, more pride festivals. This means that other people in the states or cities, other cities, states, or whatever, other countries, they got together on certain days, certain months of the year, and all came together, started having fun, finding each other, meeting new people. This also really gives the opportunity for you to meet other labels or labels that you are, to just all meet each other, just get new friends, just have fun, just all vibe out. So it's a little nice thing, that's what that means. Okay, now that we got an understanding on the LGBTQ community and all that they have to go through and who they are and how long they've been around for a long time, a long time. So we're going to get into an activist that had an inspiring story. Her story is very inspiring, very beautiful, very just, woo, that. So we're going to get into Marsha P. Johnson. Everybody, let's give a round of applause. Yes, yep. Okay, so we're going to get into Marsha P. Johnson, period. What? Who was Marsha P. Johnson, you say? Let me get into it. Marsha P. Johnson was a black transgender woman who was a fighter for LGBTQ rights. She was brave and stood up for people who were treated badly. She was also an artist and performer and brought joy to many. She was a key person in the early days of the LGBTQ rights movement in the United States. Okay, now let's get into some things about Marsha P. Marsha P. Johnson was born on August 24th, 1945. Her birth name was Malcolm Michaels Jr. She moved to New York City as a young person. She expressed herself through art and performance. She was known for her kindness and caring nature towards others in her community. She lived in New York City for much of her life. She experienced hardships and challenges in her life, including homelessness. She was involved in street activism and wasn't afraid to speak up for what she believed in. Beyond just LGBTQ rights, also caring about issues like poverty and homelessness. She died in 1992. Her death is still a topic of discussion and investigation within the community. Now we're going to get into some things about Marsha P, where it all started, how life was for her growing up and getting into the big city. So, growing up, Marsha was born in New Jersey. She was little, she felt different, people didn't always understand her. So, this most likely means she hit that point at a young age. Since she was little, she felt herself changing within herself and her sexuality and who she wanted to be. Leaving home, she left home when she was around 16 because it was hard for her there. She wanted to find a place where she could be herself. Finding friends. In New York City, she met other people who were also different and didn't fit in. They became her new family. These were artists, performers, and people who were also in the LGBTQ community. Why the name Marsha P. Johnson, you say? Marsha was a name she liked. The P stood for pay it no mind. If someone was rude or asked too many questions about her, being transgender, she would say, pay it no mind. Meaning, don't worry about it. Okay? I know that's right. Clock that T. Being herself early on, she started to wear clothes and makeup that made her feel like herself. This was her way of showing the world who she was, even if it always wasn't easy. There are some challenges Marsha faced. Marsha was black and transgender. This means people treated her badly because of skin color and because she was different. This means Marsha basically had a hard time most of her life in New York because people were mean to her because she was black and didn't look like most people thought she should. Discrimination she faced. She was discriminated against due to her race and her gender identity. Basically, this is another thing that LGBTQ people had to face. They had to face being discriminated. This means that certain jobs wouldn't hire them. This means they couldn't get into a lot of things, housing. It's just basically hard for them to get into a lot of stuff based off who they were. And, this still goes on today. A lot of people have to go through this, especially trans men and gay men the most. Marsha, she lived a good life. She was in a lot of performances. Again, she was an artist. She inspired many. She had many friends. People often always literally described her as an amazing, joyful person. She was amazing. Never heard anything bad about her. Unfortunately, July 6, 1992, she was found, deceased. And it was ruled to be something that, it really wasn't. But it was just a cover-up for what truly happened, and that's another thing I want to get into. I don't want to make this sad, but it's another thing I want to get into. It doesn't just happen with this group as well. It happens with the black community, women. It happens to a lot of people. People are being, deceased because of, other people, because these other people don't like these groups, and that's basically what happened to Marsha. And I pray that, even though that this was years ago, I pray that she gets the justice that she needs and that she deserves. She is very inspiring, and I'm pretty sure that she inspired a lot of people, especially people that relate to her, trans men, trans women, whoever. She just has a very inspiring story. She never let the negativity get to her. That's what inspired so many people to be themselves and not care what no one thinks, I feel like her name needs to be kept alive.
I want my gay rights now. I think it's about time the gay brothers and sisters got their rights. And especially the women.
Marsha was very good-natured.
I hope that you guys enjoyed this presentation, this video. I hope that you guys got educated or more educated on this group and you learned something new. Thank you for watching.